Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Sarita. I was very rudely cut off by my camera yesterday because I had not charged it. And it just was not happening the rest of the video. So, not a big deal. We are here on a Sunday completing this HOMEWORX haul. And we're only really halfway through because we have 10 other HOMEWORX candles that we have to get to from this little haul. So it was probably fine that we broke it up anyway because, man, when I looked at that first part, I was already at like 50 minutes. So it would have been a very unmanageable video. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. Okay, so fun fact about me. I grew up in a baseball crazy family, and I'm a big baseball fan. So my father is from the Foxborough area, Massachusetts, which makes us all Red Sox fans. So we were bred up Red Sox fans, but I guess you don't really need to know that for the story. I know this is probably going to age me quite a bit, but one of the soundtracks of my upbringing, of my growing up, was the very famous radio broadcasters of the New York Yankees, Michael Kay and John Sterling. And I think, I know that John Sterling very abruptly retired like into the first month of this season. And I'm not really sure all the reasons, although most people conjectured that it was to health reasons. He's quite an old man at this point. Michael Kay, I think, is still in broadcasting, but he might be a broadcaster for like ESPN radio or something like that. And obviously radio is not as big a deal as it was like when I was growing up. And we didn't have like ESPN, we didn't have cable. Like, if you were lucky enough to be in a market with your favorite baseball team, then you might see them on TV every now and then. It was like one of those situations. And so we just relied on radio. Anyway, we could get the Yankee broadcasters. We generally could not get anything farther east than that. And really, we had to be tuned in to the radio frequencies. They had to be correct and right in Columbus, Ohio. At any rate, close parentheses. Michael Kay used to call any baseball game that went over 3 hours unmanageable. So at the end of the game, he would be, the Yankees lost 5-4 today in a very unmanageable 3-hour and 16-minute ball game starting at 7:05. Like, he would just read it all out. You know what I mean? Anything over 3 hours was unmanageable, and it could be very unmanageable. And then anything under 3 hours was manageable or very manageable if it was in fact a very short and clipped game. I haven't listened to Michael Kay in a really long time, so he must really love the new baseball rules. There have been some big changes in MLB baseball. I guess baseball there is redundant. MLB stands for Major League Baseball. Within the last 2 years that have increased the speed of the game. So games are now much shorter than they have been traditionally over the last decade. They just started getting super long, super unwieldy. It probably had to do with TV, who knows what. But yeah, now they're back to a nice clipped pace. Anyway, I don't know why I'm saying this. Oh, because most of my videos, Michael Kay, shout out to Michael Kay. Most of my videos are a very unmanageable length, although people's taste changing the way that they are and watching YouTube as if it was background television, actually the long form has worked out well for me. But that HOMEWORX video would have been an incredibly unmanageable, well over an hour, pressing up into 2 hours kind of video. So I'm kind of glad that the camera cut me off. All right, so we were talking about autumn in the park, and here's autumn in the park, and really we talked about it a great deal, so I don't need to belabor the point. Yeah, this has kind of a cucumber adjacent aquatic note here, and I don't know where that aquatic note is coming from. I really don't, because it's not listed here. And it may just be the eucalyptus and the amber creating kind of that smell. I don't know. I really don't. But it is a very similar. This candle invites comparisons to fall foliage, which was quote unquote, it was dubbed quote unquote the dill pickle candle last year. I'm very happy to say that this one seems to be much sweeter, blended much more graciously, and just not as aggressive and discordant as that last one was. So I think across the board, this one is going to be more successful. At least I'm gonna manifest that by saying it. But very similar. So this might be a better version of whatever that foliage was. This is a 3-wick, so we'll just have to see how it does. We'll see how it does. There's a ton of these around though at Marshall's and TJ Maxx. Another 3-wick that I got was this one, which is Enchanted Pumpkin Wine. I was really hopeful about this one because I do love Harry Slatkin's kind of boozy wine, brandy kind of fragrances. And I was really hoping that this one would be that. Unfortunately, it's a little generic. It's a little cliched. Yeah, there's some spiciness to it. And there's some fruity, there's a lot of fruitiness actually. It's more of a fruity candle than it is like a pumpkin or even a pumpkin spice candle. But the fruitiness here is not boozy, so I don't know why he called it wine. The notes are pumpkin, mulled wine, nutmeg, and cinnamon vanilla. I'm getting a lot of what I think is probably an apple and a currant or something like that. Could be a pear, to be honest. A pear and a berry. I don't know. I don't love it. But it is what it is, and I brought it home. So there you go. At $12.99, you start to kind of not care as much and like take a lot of chances. Oh, here's another 3-wick that I got. Autumn Pumpkin Patch. And this one I imagine has been out for a bit. This was poured in March of this year. Fragrance notes are heirloom pumpkin, fresh ginger, red apple, and cinnamon sugar. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, this reminds me a lot of Cozy Sunday Night, to be honest. I don't know that it has a wood base or nuance the way that the Bath & Body Works one does, but it's got a very kind of bassy graham note in it. Yeah, that is very close to that Cozy Sunday Night. And kind of with a ginger forward pumpkin spice feel. Yeah. This one I think too has a little bit more of a fresh, like true pumpkin flesh smell than like Cozy Sunday Night does. But very similar. I think if you like Cozy Sunday Night, you'll probably like this one, and I think that's why I brought it home. $12.99, Autumn Pumpkin Patch. I don't know how long that one has been around for Harry Slatkin, but that's a very nice. Oh, I have another 3-wick, and friends, this one is from CVS. So CVS has these gold lids, I think probably to distinguish them so that if somebody tried to like, I don't know, return them or who knows what. But because I've not really seen these gold ones before, but this is a CVS thing. So the CVS candles are 3-wick for the most part. And I didn't have very many at my CVS, like Trick or Treat, which is kind of like a chocolate coconut fragrance. It's actually not bad. I just don't do chocolate fragrances really. So, you know, and then this one, which is Cozy Knit Blanket. And then what was the other one? There or maybe 2 other ones. I don't know, but they were just kind of like generic ones. You know what I mean? But I've always kind of wanted to try Cozy Knit Blanket. Look at this though. Very unexpectedly, a blue color. I don't know that I would have done blue. I mean, you know I love a colored wax. I don't know that I would have done a blue color, to be honest. It's almost a periwinkle. Because Cozy Knit Blanket, as you can see from the label here, has a very warm cashmere feel, and I would not go with a blue. It's a fine candle. It's an amber sandalwood. And there is a freshness and a sweetness about it that I really like. And I've noticed this is true not only of Yankees, like amber sandalwood, but also with many sandalwood candles from Bath and Body Works, they tend to have like a flatness and a brownness about them that I find very not dynamic and unappealing. And I do like sandalwood, but I don't like the basic amber sandalwoods from Bath and Body Works and from Yankee. And what I appreciate about this one is that it is basic, but it, like I said, has a freshness and a brightness and a sweetness about it that just makes the entire thing more pleasing and more balanced. The notes here are spun cotton, white cashmere, amber silk, suede sandalwood. So it's an amber sandalwood cashmere kind of fragrance, which is absolutely correct. There is, like I said, with the brightness and the freshness, it goes a little bit on the clean side, but it's not soapy. And I don't even know that I'm picking up on a very strong cotton linen kind of note at all. I would say mostly amber sandalwood with a very pleasing freshness to it. So I'm interested in trying it. It's a basic for sure, and I hope that the CVS ones aren't like subpar. Who knows? All right, everybody picked up one of these. These have been at Marshall's, although I'm seeing less and less of them because they've been scooped up. I have toasted vanilla pumpkin, and then it's basically companion, which is amaretto pumpkin. And to my knowledge, these two are the same candle, and they've just been repackaged over the years as amaretto pumpkin and as toasted vanilla. Amaretto pumpkin is more descriptive of the fragrance because there is a pretty pronounced almond note in this fragrance that toasted vanilla pumpkin doesn't really pick up. And I think, oh, it does say, it says amaretto vanilla cream. I was gonna say it doesn't even mention that. Amaretto vanilla cream, spice pumpkin, cardamom, and tonka bean. Oh, the notes are exactly the same. Yeah. So the notes are exactly the same on the bottom, and I guess if you look closely here, there are like various different nuts here on the label of toasted vanilla pumpkin, but don't get it twisted. It's not a nut or generic nut kind of note. It's almond. Ah, I love it. It's a beautiful almond. It does lean a little almond extract, but that's often what an amaretto note will smell like to a lot of people. I wouldn't have minded a little more alcohol in it. And Harry does the alcohol so well. What I love about this is that it has a roasted dimension that makes that what could be an almond extract note, makes it blend a little bit more seamlessly with the other aspects of the candle, and really does make it a true nutty candle as opposed to just an almond extract or liqueur kind of candle. Yeah, I really like this a lot. I like this label better, personally. And to be perfectly honest, it's just nuances, but I do feel like toasted vanilla pumpkin smells a little bit louder than amaretto pumpkin. This one was poured in July of this year, and this one was poured in May of this year. And I shouldn't have brought them both home because they're exactly the same candle, but I really liked this label better, but I like the strength of this one. And actually, I just like the fragrance across the board, so I don't mind having two of them, if you know what I mean. And I can do some compare and contrast if there's any kind of difference between them. But like I said, I'm pretty sure, because I did a little bit of research, that it's the same candle. And for whatever reasons, I don't know why he would have repackaged it so close to each other, like chronologically, and it's a little odd to me, but God bless. All right, this one, people rave about this one, and I didn't pick it up last year, and I haven't picked it up. It's one of those candles, Autumn Pinecone, that I always pick up and smell, and I'm like, should I bring this home? And then I just never bring it home. I don't know. There's just something about it that just seems like maybe a little bit too basic, but I did bring it home this time. The notes on this one are fallen pine cones, red oak, fresh eucalyptus, and juniper berry. And yeah, it smells a little like apple or pear though. Does it have an apple in it? Juniper berry. Maybe they're emphasizing the berry part of juniper? It seems like an apple scent. That said, equal parts, like kind of an earthiness and an ozone freshness, and kind of one of those like oak moss kind of vibes. It's really nice. It's nice, I just don't know if it's brilliant, but everybody treats it as if it's completely brilliant. This was poured in May of this year, so I am gonna try it. Okay, and then last but not least, I have 3 spring candles because one of the Marshalls what was it? Marshalls? Yes, it was a Marshalls. One of the Marshalls that I was at in Richmond yesterday had a ton of candles that were not necessarily seasonal, and I picked up 3 that I really like the smell of. So here's one of them, and this is cucumber mint, actually, which was unexpected for me. A really pretty label there. And the notes here are fresh cut cucumber, garden mint, honeydew melon, and water lotus. Man, Harry Slatkin knows how to blend the fruits and the florals, right? He has a floral with a fruity finish, and sometimes, as with this one, he has a fruit with a floral finish. All right, so this one was poured in 2023, but late in November. Yeah, it's nice. It has a very cucumber melon kind of vibe to it. And if there's mint here, very soft, which is probably smart because mint could overwhelm, right? I'm getting a lot of honeydew melon out of this and a lot of cucumber and maybe just a whisper of mint and a softness that you would expect from like an aquatic floral, which is what that water lotus is. Yes, it's a little basic, but it's kind of a sophisticated cucumber melon a la from Bath & Body Works, and I'm kind of here for it. So there we go. Then these 2 I'm very excited about. So here's one that I've always kind of wanted to smell but never have, and that is pink geranium. Pink geranium is pink geraniums, poppy flowers, again, orange flower, oh, you know I love an orange flower, and rose petals. Yeah, and I'm smelling the orange blossom, but it's a lot of great florals in here. I mean, really a lot. And they're all like firing a little bit differently, so they're layered perfectly in this candle. The orange blossom is kind of in your top notes, and it's one of the first little pops of floral that you smell. And then I would say that the rose is kind of a back note, and it's what you smell at the very end, like a very mature, powdery kind of note. So that it leads with like that freshness and kind of ingenue authenticity. And then in the end, there's like back toward the back, like that like mature kind of deep, sultry kind of rose. And then the other 2 flowers kind of in the middle. Ooh. And geranium is in the middle. And it's a very funky smell. But here, the way it's been mixed with rose and with orange blossom, it's really kind of like softened it and just made it very palatable, because geranium is not always the most palatable smell. It has a very like mineral forward kind of like smell. But here it's so welcome because it kind of cuts the sweetness a little bit of the orange blossom and the rose and provides some depth and some intrigue to both of them. Oh, it's a lovely candle. This is one of the most lovely floral candles I think I've smelled from Harry. And this is, I think, one of his OG fragrances. Like back in that year or 2 years where he came, it was like the gold era where he came out with all of those amazing florals. I think this was one of them. Oh, I am loving this. I really am. It's a mid-range candle. It's not like effervescent, and it's definitely not bassy. It's just right there in the mid-range. Very authentic, very botanically floral. Gorgeous spring candle. I really hope this one performs. This one was poured in 2023 as well, but in December this time. So, yeah. And then last but not least, and I think this might be a new spring candle for this year. This one was poured in October of 2023. I think it's new. White tea leaf. I mean, not one that I would have been interested in, I think just from the name. And I don't love all of the yellows and greens there either. I'm not going to lie to you. The notes are white tea leaf, bergamot, verbena, and carnation blossom. Again, wouldn't have been interested on paper either. Not really a tea person in home fragrance or in real life. Bergamot makes me nervous, although I do have to say that Harry Slatkin tends to use a very authentic, fresh, citrusy kind of bergamot rather than like a very refined bergamot oil, like perfume oil. So I do generally like his bergamot note. Verbena, not my favorite note. Carnation blossom, maybe. Carnations are a little bit on the subtle side though, and they lend a very like, carnation is a little bit like a geranium, but without all of the bite and a little bit more freshness. White tea leaf, who knows? I mean, this just looks kind of like a perfumey like lemony kind of fragrance that I wouldn't like. But then when I smelled this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really pretty, really nice. Again, blended to perfection. This is more of a conceptual than like pink geranium is, because I do think there's some elements here that are not quite floral. That might be a little bit on the perfumey slash body care kind of dimension, but very sophisticated. And like I said, blended to perfection. It's a little shy, so I'm gonna close it for a second. Yeah, it does have a really nice, like soft, sweet lemon note. I've said this before, lemon notes, there are 1,000,001 ways that a lemon note can go bad. And only like one or two that are very nice. And this is definitely hitting that nice place. Oh, that's really pretty. It is a lemon flower. I mean, it's like a lemon blossom. If Bath & Body Works had this scent and marketed it, it would be kind of like a lemon blossom kind of candle. Oh my gosh, Bath & Body Works would kill for this. And people would kill for it at Bath & Body Works. Because there's a softness and even kind of a creaminess, which is what I was saying about the body care dimension. There's a creaminess about this without it going like vanilla or gourmand. And then this beautiful lemon and floral. And just a little bit of an herbal mystique, which could be the quote-unquote tea, but is more likely the verbena note. That just provides it a little bit of a backbone, if you know what I mean. This is kind of the way, I think this is a better version of like when Bath & Body Works did, what was that marshmallow daffodil candle or whatever else? This is kind of in that genre, but I think more authentic, more fresh, more original, just more expertly blended, but kind of that same vibe. And I know a lot of people really like that despite the strength and the throw on it. So very unexpected for me, but I really wanted to bring this one home. It's a little on the delicate side, a little on the subtle side, but I think a really beautiful candle going into that early spring. Yeah. So those three are early spring. Folks, that's it. That's my mostly fall HOMEWORX haul, with the exception of these three spring ones, which I'm very, very happy with. So yeah, I need to start burning. I need to start burning. Let me know if you have any thoughts about any of these. I'm pretty happy with these. The only one that I really, really wanted though was the pumpkin espresso. So I am mildly upset that I did not get that one. And I'll trade about 10 of those espresso martinis for one pumpkin spice martini. I mean, man, unless something really magical happens. And by magical, I mean like unexpected and not scientific happens. That candle just seems like a disaster to me. But who knows? Who knows? Sometimes candles transform. So I'll try to link all of this down below. But this is it. This is it. Happy Sunday. Oh my gosh, September is like basically over. Crazy. So I need to do like a September empties like here. That'll probably be the next video. Maybe Tuesday, October 1st. I'll do September month in review. And then I actually wanted to do a little bit of a laundry review of basically the fragrance boosters from Bath & Body Works, which I'm kind of obsessed in. They said that they were doing a big laundry push at the end of September, and I did notice that they have the fragrance beads now on the floor, on a table on the floor. Like something is supposed to be happening, but I don't know. Maybe it remains to be seen what will happen with that. But I thought this was a good moment to kind of talk about them too. So I'll probably do a fragrance beads review here, maybe this week. Oh, there was something else. Oh, the platinum fragrance from Bath & Body Works is new. Unexpectedly, I kind of like it. So honestly, I walked in and it's like sitting up at the front, and I put it on and I smelled it and I was like already turning my nose up, right? I mean, this review was writing itself. The minute I saw that like cheap disco ball silver that looks like something from like a Claire's, a limited to a Justice store for preteens, you know? Oh my gosh, I knew the fragrance was going to smell how it looked. And to some degree, it does. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I was, like I said, the review was writing itself. I'm like, when you see a color like this, I knew this was gonna be a fragrance that would make 1,000 Wishes seem like a premium fragrance, you know? And then I went around the back, and they had 1,000 Wishes, because I guess they've like revamped their 1,000 Wishes packaging. So then I picked up 1,000 Wishes to smell it and confirm all of my suspicions. And then I was like, ugh. Gosh, I don't like 1,000 Wishes. I was watching Greg from All About Candles like last night, and he was waxing eloquent because he loves 1,000 Wishes. God bless. I cannot with 1,000 Wishes. Oh, man. So then I smelled that and I was like, ooh, platinum is so much better than this. So then I walked back around to the front and I smelled platinum again, and I was like, actually, this isn't bad. Which, as I've said before, I think is a version of Stockholm Syndrome proper to Bath & Body Works. When you continue walking the store so long and you smell so many bad fragrances that even the ones at the beginning that you're pretty sure were bad, they start smelling pretty nuanced. So I don't think platinum is very good, but I kind of liked it. And like when I was driving away, I still had it on my arm and I kept smelling it, which I think is a good sign, right? Kent from Candle Channel did say that it reminded him a little bit of Luminous. And I actually do kind of agree with him. I think that there is kind of a spiciness to platinum that does seem appropriate to the autumn period and is maybe it's not as berry forward as Luminous was from last year. And to be honest, I think I like platinum a little bit better. To me, and this was just having, because I sprayed the perfume on me, and when I was driving away and kept smelling it, it smelled more and more to me like a very masculine leaning body care, like almost a cologne, but not quite kind of fragrance. So might actually be a little bit on the unisexual side. It's just not quite as cliched as some of their men's colognes, and it's not quite as deep and heavy as some of their colognes. But I would say that it might be a little bit too masculine for the main line, and for that packaging. I don't know if there will be that many men who will even want to pick that up and smell that. So, but I actually think that it might be a little bit, with the spiciness to it and the musk that they've used, I think maybe heading on its way in a more masculine direction. But I could be wrong about that. And I do tend to like more masculine. So maybe that's why I liked platinum better than like 1,000 Wishes, etc., etc. But yeah, stay tuned. Can I see myself picking up something from that line later? Yes. Will I be embarrassed given the packaging? 1,000%. Is it brilliant, remarkable, breaking the mold, etc. for bath? No. Is it a cliched Bath & Body Works fragrance? Yes. But among the range of other cliched fragrances, I kind of liked it. I might be a minority report on that though, because I've heard a lot of pretty bad things. Again though, if it does lean a bit masculine in its profile, that could be the reason why the target audience, which as I said, may actually be preteen girls, it's gonna be a mismarket. It's gonna be not successful. For a whole host of reasons that may or may not have to do with the fragrance itself. But yeah, so that was platinum. Yeah, and then I have showers that I'm gonna do the laundry, and then I also promised you a Hall of Fame fall review, and then I've got a few candles that are ready to be reviewed, and of course Coffee Week coming up too. So preview of coming attractions. Thank you for joining me though for this amazing HOMEWORX haul, and I hope I'm not, other than pumpkin espresso, I hope I'm not missing anything like really crucial for this season. It's been a little quiet in terms of new things from Harry Slatkin lately, but thank God he has a good backbench of standbys. And what I do appreciate about HOMEWORX is he is not shy about relying upon those. I would love to see other companies, Yankee, I'm looking at you, rely more heavily on your backbench. Even Bath & Body Works could, frankly, backbench of classics. Keep those in the rotation and rely upon those heavily. It's a brand identity thing, if nothing else. So, yeah. All right, my friends, thanks for joining me. Have an amazing week, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.